Hello, and welcome to For Further Review. I have two very special guests with me. One of them you may recognize, and that would be Greg Lyles, who is in charge of our outreach in Murfreesboro City. But I also have another very special guest with me, and I'm going to let Greg, if you would please introduce this lady who is to your left.
Thank you, Dr. Gilbert. It's a pleasure for me to introduce our special guest today. That is Jennifer Austin. Jennifer is a student at MTSU. I believe she's a senior, and her major is human sciences, and she has done a special project that we're going to talk about today.
Okay. Jennifer, would you tell us a little bit about the project that you were involved in?
Yes. This past fall, for my major, I had to do a 100-hour internship. And I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, and the opportunity presented itself for me to be able to work with Dr. Beth Emery and Mrs. Stephanie Bush, and work with them for the MTSU chapter of Universities Fighting World Hunger. And I absolutely jumped at the chance. I was familiar with Universities Fighting World Hunger due to a prior class that I had in the spring, where we did the same type of work. We raised awareness and really just educated fellow students, faculty, members of the community to the issues, the local issues on the war on hunger. And so I was already familiar, and it's an amazing organization. And so for the 100 hours, my job was really to do exactly that: educate my fellow students, raise awareness, and develop a fundraiser campus-wide to raise money for the backpack programs of Murfreesboro City Schools and Wilson County Schools.
Okay. Could you tell us a little bit about how you went about that fundraiser?
It was actually, I researched, and it took a while, and I was basically just going through any type of research I could find with fundraisers that worked, that were successful, and fairly easy to set up. And I went through the World Food Program, which is an amazing website organization, and I found a few fundraisers that I thought could really work at MTSU. And so finally I found something about a spare change drive, and I thought, that's perfect, we can do that. Anybody can collect change, so I thought, this is what we can do. And so that's what we set out to do. I developed a flyer, and we passed it out around campus. And we held the change drive, which was titled Feed a Child, Feed a Dream. We held that the week before Thanksgiving, our Thanksgiving break, which I thought was perfect, because what better time to give back than the holidays, especially a holiday that revolves around food. So we set that up, and Ms. Stephanie Bush and I, we went around to different classrooms in the Human Sciences Department and Health and Human Performance Department, and it was a great opportunity, because we were actually able to educate the students. We weren't having to fight for their attention for 2 seconds. We actually got, even 5 minutes was well enough to be able to touch both on global and local issues affecting our children that otherwise go hungry without the help of the backpack program.
Could you tell us what you learned in the process as far as children and hunger?
So much. I'm a health minor, so I was already familiar with the importance of food, and that's what kind of gave me the title for the change drive, Feed a Child, Feed a Dream, because we all know without adequate food, the right types of food, a nutritious diet, children cannot, they can't think and grow as they should. And so we thought it was perfect for this fundraiser, because I challenged MTSU to inspire dreams within the children in our own community. And so we went with that, and MTSU was so unbelievably kind and generous and welcoming The students were amazing. The faculty were they were all just so wonderful, and the result was just absolutely amazing. So,
Well, thank you so much for doing that for our children. We really appreciate that.
thank you.
Greg, would you talk a little bit about the backpack program, how many children we serve? You've been now with us in this for, well, not a year yet, almost, but could you talk a little bit about the backpack program and what you've learned
Okay.
in this time?
The backpack program has been going on in the city schools, I think, for the last 3 or 4 years, if I can recall. It started with a partnership with the Second Harvest Food Bank, and we have volunteers that come in on Wednesday of each week. They pack the food in containers. We send it out to the various schools, but the schools request the number of backpacks that they need based upon their need in their building of students that they feel like is in need of the food for the weekend. We started out, if I can recall, back when I came in July to this position, we started out with packing about 125, 30 backpacks a week. We are now packing 218 bags of food a week that go out to the students in Murfreesboro City schools. And so this effort that Jennifer has done in conjunction with MTSU has been a tremendous boost to the program in Murfreesboro City.
Could you talk a little bit about the stories you've heard or about what you've heard from the counselors about how important this is for our children?
Well, first of all, when we distribute the food on Fridays, the counselors do it in a very discreet manner so that not to bring attention to the child or to the food that they're going to take home for the weekend. They put it in their backpack for the most part. And it's really interesting, some of the stories that I heard, that the counselors see kids keeping some of the food at school so that they will have snacks during the week. A lot of them are afraid if they take it home, someone else may eat it and they don't get any of it. And then it's really, from the counselors, we've also heard how excited the kids are when they receive this food on Fridays.
Okay.
So it's an awesome program, and it meets a tremendous need in our school system.
Are we still seeing a need for volunteers to help with the packing of the food, or where are we as far as the need now?
There is a need to have more volunteers. As a matter of fact, Stephanie has talked to me about some of the students at MTSU being interested in helping pack food for us, for our students. And then, with a lot of the financial assistance, such as the project that Jennifer has done, certainly help us to make sure that in the interim, if we run short of food before our next shipment, we're able to provide food on a consistent basis for our children.
Okay. Jennifer, you talked about dreams. Could you share a little bit about what your dreams are for your future?
I think that through my major, we have so many options. I mean, and when I began my major, I, strictly thought I want to work with children. And I still do. I love children. And like I said, I'm a health minor. So, the health of children is so incredibly important. And I guess for me, and just from what I've seen from this fundraiser and the work I've done, being able to make a difference, it was absolutely life-changing for me, this experience. And I think I proved something to myself that I didn't quite know that I would be able to do. And so I think that as long as I'm able to make a difference, and just help, and not just children, the elderly. That's also become a big part through internships, and I love that as well. But I do want to continue to make a difference. I would love to continue to work doing this type of work. I mean, it is so rewarding because at the end of the day, you do know that you have made a difference. So that dream's already been fulfilled through this. So, and I just hope to be able to do more.
Well, you mentioned dreams, you mentioned changing lives of children, you mentioned making a difference, and I think what we've seen is obviously you've done that with our children. And on behalf of Murfreesboro City Schools, I want to thank you for working with Greg, and thank you for what you've done. I want to thank MTSU and the community for their support, but thank you for coming into our lives and the lives of our children and making a difference. We thank you for your support. Have a great day.